Aloha. I wanted to make another video today as a response to I've had a lot of people write me comments about, again, just having a hard time unmasking yourself socially. And there's just so much more to talk about in the sense of I've experienced so much since I made my last videos on it, and I feel like there's some more perspectives that can help a lot. So going through this process, as everyone is, it took me maybe 8 years from start to finish. And you can think about it this way. The person that you are in social situations, the people that you see around that are comfortable with who they are, a lot of those people are the continuation of their original ego. And what I mean by that is, let's say you grew up in America in the suburbs like most people did, and you were validated by your parents to follow certain paths, to do well in school, to act a certain way. And if you did, you received positive affirmations from them. And if you didn't, you were punished or whatever was the case in your situation. So as you get older, you start to figure out things that you should or shouldn't do based off the people who are putting pressure on you, judging you. And you start to conform your personality to those people. You decide who you are, what you like, where you want to go, what you want to do, what you do and don't want to experience based off of the personality of the person you're supposed to be. So the path generally takes you, and I know about mine, I've seen a few other people and helped a couple people along theirs, but it generally takes you from here you are as a person, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to go to college, it's going to be really, really great, everything's going to work out really good. And then later on, this isn't really what I want to do, how did I end up here? This perspective that you used, that got you to college, that got you into life, that got you maybe possibly married before, whatever you wanted, this perspective has been validated its whole existence. That's the intention, is to gain validation. So it's really easy to be that person in social situations if you're unaware of the fact that that is a mask. So don't give up hope, because when you see people walking around and they feel really confident in who they are, understand it's a possibility that it could be that first mask. So what happens is when you take off that first mask, right? Let's say in my situation, there was a defining moment where I could either follow one path, a lot of this happened in high school, where I could stay on the football team and be the quarterback, or I really desired to try to make a career out of snowboarding professionally. So I decided to go down that route. And what happened then was anyone who had supported me up to that point, that felt validated by me taking the football path, instantly felt invalidated and pulled their support from my energetic space. So as you go through and you start to take apart these huge chunks of who you're not, and your personality starts to fall apart, and you feel terrible, and you feel lonely, and you feel like a part of you is dying, and you feel like you're all alone in the universe, and you don't have anything that you want or anywhere you want to go, and you feel really disheartened by it. Just understand that's part of the process. Because as you lose what you consider who you are, you're generally losing your programmed things to do. So your whole life you've probably been told what to do in every situation. And when you're not, you probably get uncomfortable, or you want to get drunk or go unconscious in some way. Because people like to be told what to do. It's easy. When you're being told what to do, you know exactly what to do. You just have to perform on a certain level while doing it. The hardest part is picking what to do, especially if you don't have any support. So once you start to take the ego apart, you get into situations where you go through quite a long period of time where you are interacting with people socially, and you don't have nearly as much confidence, validation, self-esteem. You don't have any of that compared to where they're at, still locked in the ego, because no one has validated your new path. Your new path isn't really going to validate anyone, especially not at first, and you're not really going to know how to validate it yourself. So give yourself some time and expect that you're not going to be validated for a while, and get excited about that, because what it's going to do is you're going to realize you're going to have an ultimatum. Let's go back into the ego and go completely unconscious to the fact you're trying to get out of it. Whoops. Or phone fell over. Or you can start to come out of it more. And when you start to come out of it more, just realize you're gonna drop friends. Family members are not gonna support you. You're essentially gonna let everyone down, because the thing that's been locking your ego in place has been trying to maintain this false sense of you can please everyone. So everyone who's in your reality is getting pleased by you in some way, whether they're validated or invalidated in the ways that they want. So just know you're going to go through a period where here you have a ton of validation. It comes from other people. You drop this personality and you make up this one, you're going to be at the bottom. And what you're gonna have to figure out how to do is to validate yourself. And it's not overly complicated. Just keep telling yourself, I validate myself. I validate myself. I validate myself. And believe it. And then what's going to happen is one day you're going to be in a social situation and you're not going to feel weird, because you're realizing that the people in front of you, who you're afraid of their judgment, are people who are doing the same thing that you're doing. And the best thing that you can do is be who you truly are. And they're going to react. They're going to. They're going to know you're fucking weird. What are you talking about? Why aren't you fitting inside the social norm? But they're going to be intrigued. They might say that shit in front of you, in front of other people at a party. And the next day, like, what's up, man? You want to hang out? Happens to me all the time. It's because people want that experience. They want to be free, but they don't want you fucking up what they're trying to portray to other people, right? So you gotta fuck up what you're trying to portray to other people. Whatever people think you're doing, and whatever, like, positive validation you're giving people, just let them know, like, here's who I am, and I don't really care. But you're gonna care for a long time. So it's okay. Just know that there's a period where you're going to care. You're gonna feel like people have their masks on and you want to take yours off, and you're terrified to take it off. And when you take it off, you're going to feel naked, you're going to feel exposed, and you're going to feel invalidated. That's just part of it. Understand that people's judgments during that period are the physical representation of you being able to take a step in unconditional love. So the part of yourself that you see being reflected back to you, let's say you're at a party. 2 people, you're saying something, you're like, yeah, well, anyway, I'm studying this is what I'm doing. 2 people are like, what the fuck? For those 2 people to even exist with those personalities, a part of you has that personality, and that part of you is working against you. It's saying those same judgmental thoughts to you in your head. So stop trying to impress that part of yourself. See what part of you is judging those people. Stop. Understand that the fact that they aren't ready for who you are yet doesn't mean anything other than an awesome opportunity to practice unconditional love. If people all feel really, really good about you, it's easy to love them. Unconditional love is learning how to love people exactly where they're at. And guess who one of those people is? You. So keep working on it, and don't be afraid, because it is going to hurt all the senses. It's going to hurt the emotional body. It's going to hurt the ego. But as it keeps going and the ego keeps getting chipped away in these social situations, you're going to want to stay inside. And that's okay if you do. But don't surrender to that. Just know that the chipping away is what's really good. And just look at everyone as if they're on their path, and they're all here to support you, being exactly who you need them to be in that moment. Perfect. It's perfect. So just think about it. And if you have any more questions about it, let me know. It is scary, but you have one person. I'm here. If you're having a hard time with it, you're like, I don't have any friends. I get it. I really get it. So just give it a try. And if everyone's like, you're fucking weird, well, 7 billion people on the planet. That's not bad. You can find other weirdos. I got a bunch of weirdos around me. So just, keep trying. And just remember that each person is going to give you an opportunity to learn to love an aspect of yourself you don't love. That's why they exist. If you see it that way, you can start seeing masters in everyone for where they're at. And understanding why where they're at is perfect. So if you have any more questions, just keep leaving comments. I'll try to get back to them as much as I can. And just be strong. It's hard until you learn to validate yourself. But once you learn to validate yourself, you don't ever need to play any social games ever again. The necessity to even have human beings around you disappears. Because you do validate yourself. And they're all using each other to validate themselves. So it just becomes a whole different game. And it's exciting, but it takes work. What doesn't, right? It's better than learning Spanish or something. So just remember, control your emotional body. And when you feel overwhelmed, give yourself space. That's just what's going to be needed. Other people are going to want you to do stuff, but know your limits, All right. Aloha.